Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending July 20th, 2022. Lots of people are getting themselves in trouble because they only listen to people that say the things that they want to hear. I'll give you an example. If you think your home is worth $1.5 million, and you speak to a few agents, you're only going to believe the agents that'll say, yes, it's worth $1.5 million. But the agent that says, no, you're probably only going to get 1.3. You discount that realtor as being wrong because they're not feeding what you want to believe. So I guess the real question is, if what you believe is wrong, what you believe to be true is wrong, how soon would you want to know? I see people getting themselves into trouble all the time, especially in real estate, and it's often not, a small $10 trouble. It's in the thousands of dollars trouble because they only surround themselves or listen to people that tell them what they want to hear. I'm often not the first agent when it comes to speaking with a buyer or a seller. Sometimes I'm the second or third agent along the way. And many times I'll give them information. For example, if I'm talking to a seller and I'll lay out why I feel their property should be priced the way I suggest, and here's the strategy, and they'll often say, well, nobody's told me this before. I don't know why. Everything is right there. It's clear as day to me. And when I ask them, well, why would you think otherwise? And they say, well, now that you've laid it out like that, we don't think otherwise, but nobody's told me that before. There's agents that will automatically, in a listing presentation, give a high price just to win the listing. And that's exactly what the seller wants to hear, and that's the agent they go with. Or buyers that'll start working with an agent where the agent says, oh yeah, for your budget, we could buy this, we could buy that. And it's just not true. So again, really, really think about, are you surrounding yourself with yes people that just tell you what you want to hear to make you feel good? And if what you believe to be wrong or to be true is wrong, how soon do you want to know? I'm about to go over the numbers. Whether you like the numbers or not, those are the real numbers. I'm going to tell you what's true, and I'm not here to win a popularity contest, but at the very least, those are the real numbers. What you do with that information is up to you. Where you get your information is up to you. And as always, who you hire matters. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way I'll know ahead of time. I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we could talk about whatever's on your mind. And if you're looking for an awesome one-bedroom with a huge den condo in the heart of Kingsway, check out the video at the end of this video. Detached prices have hit a 20-month low. That's the truth. These are the numbers here. I've got City of Toronto detached properties. I'm just talking about detached properties right now on this slide. Broken down for a year. 103 detached properties were sold last week for week ending July the 20th. 20 of those were at $2 million or more. Those sales are very similar to what they've been the last 3 weeks, where we did 101, then we did 94. So we've been hovering around 100 sales a week for 3 weeks now, and 20 of those selling at $2 million or more. But average sold price is now sitting at just under 1.5 million, at 1,498,000. And here's exactly a year ago, we were higher than 1.6. We're now just below 1.5. Compared to last year, 1,498,000 is 8% lower than last year's average sold price. And it's been lower for a few weeks in a row now. And like I said earlier, 1,498,000 is a 20-month low, approaching a 2-year low. Average sold price is average sold price is 8% lower than what it was a year ago. Median price is 7% lower than where the median price was a year ago. Median price a year ago was 1,225,000. 3 months ago, median price was 1.5 million. When we look at sales and we look at year-to-date sales, well, we are from January 1st to July 20th, 28% fewer sales this year than what we were selling last year, year-to-date. And of the 103 that sold, 41% sold at list price or more. Listings, we are 9% fewer listings this year than what we were listing a year ago. And months of inventory, it did come down a bit, but it's still at 3.3 months of inventory. Now remember, on a weekly basis, things change. Things will go up and down. We are more interested in the trend, and it's clear the trend is that months of inventory is going up. Average days on market is going up for week ending July 20th. 19 is the average days on market. So that's all of Toronto. Let's break Toronto down. Now remember, all of Toronto, average sold price about 1.5 mil. Months of inventory is 3.3. When we break it down, here's Central Toronto, West Toronto, and East Toronto. A closer look at West Toronto. Average sold price is 1,316,000. Only 37 detached properties were sold, and for the last 4 weeks, we're selling only about 30, in the 30s, detached properties. Average sold price is 6% lower than what it was a year ago, and median price is 4% lower than what it was a year ago. In West Toronto, median price right now is sitting at 1.2 million, and months of inventory is 3 months of inventory, which is slightly up from the previous week. Looking at Central Toronto, we sold only 27 detached properties in all of Central Toronto. 13 of those, so basically half were at $2 million or more. And it's surprising to me a little bit that the average sold price is just a little bit over $2 million. It's $2,153,000. And I'm surprised that it's just that when half the properties are selling at $2 million or more, I'd figure the average sold price would be much higher. But it's $2,153,000, which is 16% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. 16% lower. Median price is 3% lower than where it was a year ago. And median price for Central Toronto is 1.9 million. Months of inventory, however, is way up there at 5 months of inventory. Very much sitting in a balanced market state, but it's going to feel like a buyer's market. Lots of people are saying buyer's market, buyer's market. Technically, we're in a balanced market, but it's really going to feel like a buyer's market. Average days on market in Central Toronto is 26 days on market. Let's look at East Toronto. Now, typically, East Toronto has a little bit more activity than the other parts of Toronto, has a lower months of inventory, it's more active, it also has the lowest average selling price. So 39 detached properties were sold in East Toronto. Only 3 were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,217,000. You know, when you sit back, and this graph is true of many of the graphs, you see average sold price going up, and this year we see it coming down. Well, $1,217,000 is 4% lower than last year's average sold price, and the median price of 1.1 million is 3% lower than where the median price was a year ago. When we look at months of inventory, we're sitting at 2.4 months of inventory, which has come down a bit. Now, Central Toronto is 5. West Toronto is in the 3 months of inventory or so. East Toronto has the lowest at 2.4, and days on market is 14 days on market. Let's take a close look at semis. 42 semi-detached properties were sold across the city of Toronto. And keep in mind, this is just the city of Toronto. There's no Mississauga, there's no Brampton, there's nothing in York Region or Durham. It's just the city of Toronto here. So 42 semis were sold. Average sold price went up quite a bit from the previous week. It's now sitting at $1,365,000. 1,365 is 17% higher than last year's average sold price. It's a whole different world when you go from detached properties to semis, then to towns, which we'll get into in a minute. Median price is 13% higher than what it was a year ago. Median price now is sitting at $1,238,000. 1.8 is the months of inventory. Almost half, 48% of the semis that sold at list price or more. So there's still some competition, quite a bit actually, when it comes to semis, and the price is much higher than what it was a year ago. Let's look at townhouses. Only 9 townhouses. These are freehold townhouses. Only 9 were sold across the city of Toronto. So I gotta kind of put a warning label here. When you have sales this low, it's really hard to get a lot of accuracy when it comes into the numbers. You know, when you're looking at average prices, one price top or bottom could really affect the overall average. Well, average right now is sitting at $1,105,000. Average sold price is 1% lower than what it was a year ago. Median price, which is the same as the average price of $1,105,000, median price is 17% higher than what it was a year ago. Months of inventory is sitting at 3.5. Overall, the fact that sales are so low, we kind of know what's happening out there when it comes to townhouses. Last week I said, even though we're sitting at 1.6, I do expect months of inventory to go up. And that's exactly what's happening here. We're sitting at 3.5 months of inventory when it comes to freehold townhouses. Let's look at condos for the city of Toronto. 177 condos were sold. If we look at the whole year, the only time in a week we did less sales was during the Christmas and New Year's break. Other than that, we've never sold only 177 condos. 19 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price came down a little bit from the previous week. It's now sitting at $763,000. So sales for condos are coming way down. Average sold price is coming down, but gradually. It's not quickly coming down the way the detached market is doing. $763,000 is 9% higher than the average sold price a year ago, and the median price at $718,000 is 12% higher than what it was a year ago. So average sold price 9% higher, median price 12% higher. Year-to-date sales, we have 26% fewer condo sales this year than what we were selling a year ago. And these are condo apartments. There's no condo townhouses in these numbers, just condo apartments. Listings, 3% fewer listings this year than a year ago. And months of inventory has been creeping up. It's now sitting at 4 months of inventory, right at the border of what we call a balanced market. It's right at the door. But it is very much a balanced market when it comes to that. And what you'll find is that there's a lot more room to negotiate, a lot more room to get the price that you want if you're a buyer. When we look at the overall averages for months of inventory, if you've been watching these videos for a while, you remember it wasn't long ago that these colored blocks here were around here. They're like hovering all below 1, around 1. It's a whole different world these days. very much, some of them are in a balanced market state, some of them are very close to a balanced market. But when you're coming from a 0.5 months of inventory, and that's what people are used to, buyers or sellers, and now we're sitting at 2.4, 3, 4, 5 months of inventory, it's a whole different world. But as always, who you hire matters. There's different strategies today. The same strategies used a few months ago aren't working anymore. It's a different mindset, not just for buyers and sellers, but for realtors. And you kind of got to pivot to the situations and come up with strategies for the current marketplace. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Here's your chance to live in the heart of the Kingsway. Welcome to Kingsway by the River Condos. It's a newly built building. This is a 1-bedroom with a den, a large den. And this is a corner unit, and it comes with this massive wraparound balcony. Let me show it to you.